What's happening, good people? It's me, Dr. Muhsinah Morris, or Molder of Minds, and I have a very special guest here with me today. Um, so she's a dear friend, she's a colleague, she's my sister in the spirit, and we work together alongside one another. She is a member of the executive team of VictoryXR, and she is an educator, brilliant. And her hobbies include making magical things come alive on the stage. So I bring to you Miss Kathleen Ouellette.
Hello.
Hi, Kathleen.
Hey, Dr. Mo. How's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It's a good day.
Wonderful. So, Kathleen, could you tell the good people on Dr. Morris's page, because we're Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube. Tell me and my good people who are screaming hey to everybody. Um, tell me where you're calling from. Where you
St.
shouting
Louis.
this out?
St. Louis,
St.
Missouri.
Louis. There
Yes.
you go. We got anybody from St. Louis? Chime in, tap in, tap in. But if not, in your comments, make sure that you put where you're from so that we'll know exactly how far our reach is. Because if not, we're going to have to make you send this to your cousins so that we can get further reach. So, me and Kathleen have been working together for almost 5 years. I'm going to call it a solid decade now at this point because we're just girls like that. So, the one thing about working with Kathleen on all of our metaversity work, all of our educational initiatives, and everything is she's always well informed. She's always going to keep it optimistic. And I just want her to introduce herself into this space as being kind of like in the background, but the silent wind beneath the wings of Morehouse's Metaversity, but also of Metaverse United and the work that I've been doing in the community. So, Kathleen, what inspires you to continue encouraging me?
I think it's I think actually it's how we encourage each other is our motivation behind what we see as the future of education and what we feel is within our hearts, what we want to share with students. And we know that they struggle to identify with, that they struggle to relate to concepts, they struggle to relate to ideas that could be might be foreign to them. And um, and I really feel like VR presents an opportunity for them to get into an understanding with what they're curious about that runs a little bit deeper than just standing, it's just sitting in a chair and listening to a lecturer tell you about something. It's experiencing something, so they are able to relate to it, they are able to interact with things and interact in environments and interact with each other. They're able to connect to other people no matter where those other people are in the world. And I love that. And I know you love that as well. So I think that's why, I think that's what keeps us both going. I think it's what inspires us both to do what we do, which is teach and love and create.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you so much for that. That was wonderful. Could you give the good people just a little snippet of your background, your journey as a homeschool mom, and what you do now with Victory XR in terms of education and
Yeah.
homeschool?
Well, my background, my first degree is in deaf education. So I have experience, and it's a fantastic program where I went a little while ago, just a few years ago. I got my first degree. It was a really robust program that turned the following year into a 5-year program because it is so robust. But I received training in SLP and audiology in addition to the teaching of the deaf and hard of hearing and special education. But I had a minor in elementary education. And I got my master's in curriculum development and also a very robust program, different school, fantastic, fantastic platform. Loved it. And then I went on to receive, well, to do a lot more hours in another school. So I have enough hours for a second master's degree, but I didn't do the thesis. So I'm like, no, there's no reason. You know, you get to a point where it's like, so I say that I have 2 master's degrees. On paper, I only have 1, but I feel like experience also parlays into what you are learning in school and then what you're applying. So I feel like I do have 2 master's degrees. Because it's a lot. It's a lot. The experience that I've had is a lot. But so I taught deaf and hard of hearing, multi challenged deaf and hard of hearing students. And I also then took a break in the middle of my 30 plus years of teaching. I took a break to homeschool our 6 children for 14 years and wrote the curriculum along the way, also utilized various curriculums to create that and just do what my kids were curious about. I wanted them to be involved. I wanted them to love learning. And all of my children love learning. And I'm so proud. I am very, very proud of that. I am very proud of that. And then went back into teaching. And when I went back into teaching, I was teaching, I was using my another degree, another certification that I have, which is birth to 3. So I was using I went back and I taught 2 and 3-year-olds in experiential learning with Reggio Emilia, was trained in Reggio Emilia. And so, and then the school also was very project-based learning focused. So PBL, experiential learning, Reggio Emilia, and then I that was 30 years, so it was enough. And
Wow.
so and education started to they changed the program, so I walked away. And
stumbled upon.
I found Steve.
Yes, exactly. So, as a homeschooling mom, and I know you're over the homeschool program, so it's really a redundant question. I know you would use virtual reality, but how do you think that the use of training, or put it like this, what do you think? How do you think training needs to happen for it to be successful for homeschool pods or groups or parents? VR.
Right. I think the training actually comes with, and I'm so proud of our company for doing this. I really am. And if I wasn't, I wouldn't say it. But I really am proud of our company for providing professional development with every single subscription. So, and what we mean by that too is that not only do you have the professional development training, you get pedagogical background behind VR and everything that has led up to it over the last, decades of centuries of education, how it's all played in to the foundation of VR, the pedagogy of VR in education. And you get that, but you also get, okay, now here's a platform and these are ways that you can use it. And here's some simulations that are already built for you. This is the easy way out. But here's the creator spaces with all of the 3D objects for you and your students to create and be curious and explore. And I love that. I love it because I think it's really a solid way to train homeschool parents. I would really encourage homeschool parents to go through our professional development. The PD hours takes 5 hours maybe. And, I'm saying that as a mom of 6,
Right.
with a husband who was deployed all the time because he was a Navy helicopter pilot for 23 years. So yeah, I was alone a lot. and raising these kids and teaching them all the time. And so I say, yeah, moms can do this for 5 hours, but I know that you can. I know that homeschooling moms are resilient. We're
They are.
resilient and we're strong. And I really feel like we can do it. And dads too. I know a lot of homeschooling dads.
My husband is
There are some
basically one.
amazing homeschooling dads out there. So I don't want to just, I don't I mean, really. And you know what? There are also homeschooling
My
grandparents.
parents. I was just gonna say, I was like, you know what?
I know a couple of homeschooling grandparents. I know a lot of dads, and I know obviously more moms, but yeah, families are just they are just taking their babies into the fold and bringing them home and saying, okay, we need to focus on really educating you
Mhm.
around your curiosities and helping you. But then it's that the training that the Victory XR offers through our PD, and then you get customer support too. And
Yes.
yes, I'm director of customer support, but I really feel like Chris and I do a really good job. So with customer support, but also on our team, you've got Melissa, you've got Cassie, you've got Katie, you've got, like I can just go and if we don't know the answers, then we reach out to those that would, because our company is just so great about answering questions and helping and creating and building what people need.
I love that. People always ask like, why do I work with VictoryXR specifically? And I do because one, they do high fidelity work, quality work, but the customer service. So, people talk a lot about Chick-fil-A and their customer service. It's like, my pleasure, my pleasure, my pleasure. But there is something about the heart of a person that wants to be a servant to another,
Mhm.
just have a heart for service. And that is what Victory XR has always brought to the table in all of our interactions and the entire team. And I'm glad that that organic growing of the team, even though it was lean and it's still kind of lean, um, but it allowed us as Morehouse to also have partners that understood the assignment in terms of, we need this to move as fast as tech. We want to do this and make sure that we're not 3 years after the technology catching the wave. And we wanted to reflect the excellence that we portray in everything that we do. And we have the same value system VictoryXR does as Morehouse does, just even as I do as my own, professor and the PI over the grant, and Steve as the CEO of VictoryXR. We just have the same type of value system, the same type of desire to help. And then he surrounded himself on his team with the same. And I have surrounded myself on my team with innovators and thinkers and
Mm.
humanitarians and people who are pushing the status quo about what academia could be. And these people are just such amazing people. So just like you said, Ethel, Ovell, we have Tanya Clark and Mickey Harris and Adria Welcher and Monique Earl Lewis and Lavanya Jones and Patrice Williams and Rosalind Odom and Nina Gilbert and Bria Toussaint and Michael Douglas and Artesius Miller, Dr. Miller, and oh gosh, I could go on and on and on because I made and I know I probably still miss someone, but all of these people who have been a part of what we're doing have helped to shape Dewan Davenport. I knew I was missing somebody. Let me get it together. All these people who made the Metaversity so wonderful and so enriched. And Tara Taylor, who finished her PD program first.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she is a wonderful, wonderful addition to our Metaversity. And it's like we leverage the power of these innovative thinkers, these researchers, these people who have a heart for the student learner and for the development of the professor as a professional uh, in this technological space, so that we're not mandated to use this technology without proper direction. They've been the ones that have braved it with me. So if people see me right here at the forefront, that's because they don't want to do it. They don't want to be on the forefront. They're like, no, you got that. You do so good. So, and so here I am. I say, here am I. Okay,
Mhm.
humanity can't wait. So we we do our best to make sure that we shape our teams in the same kind of way. And that's the reason why VictoryXR will always have a great partnership in place. And the thing is, when people partner with others, they usually leave, drop off a product and leave. And we've been together about 5 years now, running, coming up. So I feel like this has been like a great partnership. This program has gotten a lot of attention, a lot of respect. And I know how it was built, and that it was built in love for our students to be able to achieve more. And I have seen it. And so I'm just so enthusiastic about the continuing partnership as we organically move towards the use of VR and mixed reality, really, and at the intersection of artificial intelligence too. So that part is exciting. What do you think about integrating AI into not just the college classrooms, but homeschool classrooms too? So all levels of education. What are your thoughts?
I've been trying to wrap my head around how would parents use AI? How would families use AI to support their learners? And I can really see pods, and micro schools using having it really be a benefit, because you've got parents, and I'm going to say parents, but you've got grandparents, you've got parents out there that they are so inspired, and they're highly educated, but they've stepped aside to give their children the opportunity to thrive in a home setting, and thrive with education and learn to love education. So when you have individuals out there that are highly trained, highly skilled, maybe they have a skill that is they've worked their whole life on, and they want to share that with those students. Okay, now they can go in to VictoryXR subscription, and they can create an AI tutor, and they can fill that tutor with all of the information that they know about this one skill. Or maybe it's that they want to be able to share a not just a job, but maybe a program, a um, um, just something about what they've experienced in life. Maybe it is an experience in life that they personally went through. Maybe they went through the bombing in Boston. Maybe they are a soldier from Iraq. Um, there's lots of different ways that individuals can share their stories, but have them be truthful, and have them have a point to them, and have a desire to share this with others, so that others understand these are the situations, this is what promoted this time in history, or this is what promoted my life, what motivated me throughout my life, or these are my skills, or this is what I know about biomolecular chemistry, and I want to and I wanted to talk about, or maybe I'm an engineer and I want to talk to you about how would you build this,
Right.
that students need to build in school sometimes. um, they can share that with them that way, and
Yeah.
then have that as a resource for those students within that micro school, within that private online school, within that pod. And I think that that's really where the benefit will come into play. I really don't know if individual families would use this when they're already right there. They're already right there. They're learning from those families. It's just within house. But if it was a grandparent that wanted to share information and have it available to, maybe there's 6 or 7 kids in the household, and they want to have this recorded and available, this information recorded and available to the family as the children grow up.
So how do you feel as homeschoolers, parents can play a role in developing their child for the workforce of their desires. So we don't really know what the future of work, and we always talk about how integrating technology into what we do in education is powerful. As a homeschool parent, you have more control over what you want your students to learn, explore, go deeper in, right? And so what do you think about training and development and workforce development for these students, to gain skills like how we have our CTE? You know, I know those are trades, but there are other ways in which we could also use these tools. Can you think of any other ways that we could build workforce development skills in our young people using XR technology or AI, all of it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I think those students that are interested in, well, one of the things that we want to be able to do in the future is be able to help students understand that if they are interested in taking something that they can get online for free,
Mhm.
but have it be a 3D object, but it doesn't have the lighting, it doesn't have, there's so many layers of development that go into anything that's created for virtual reality. But there are so many individuals out there that want to create for virtual reality. I think it's a struggle with letting them know, this is what it would look like if you brought it in. So I'm one of those people that's like, okay, let them bring in these objects that are going to be invisible, aren't going to have sides, aren't going to have colliders, or things
Right.
on them to react to other things. Let them bring that in and let them learn that firsthand.
Yeah.
That's firsthand knowledge. That's experiential learning.
Yeah.
Okay, I got this. I bought this from a company that's online that sells 3D objects. I'm going to be able to bring it into this setting, and it's not going to work because it doesn't meet the parameters of that particular,
Technological space. Yeah.
that platform, and then it doesn't also meet the parameters of a VR, of a really strong VR build. So, but they need to learn that.
Yeah.
So why not? And then have that available, and then maybe they will go outside and explore. Okay, well, what do I need to do to make this work? And
Right.
then build it. One of the things that we want to do eventually is have that availability for people to bring in objects that they have worked really hard on, and then be able to share that with others on our platform. We're still working on that, but it is something that we do desire to do because there is that need. And I would say too, for one of the classes that we're going to be offering soon is virtual film school is going to be an influencing class, right? How to be an influencer. It's a 30-day class. Students are going to be able to sign up for it. The class is going to be presented primarily in Zoom, but there's going to be some classes where you're actually going to be able to put on a headset and go into headset, and you're going to explore VR influencing and maybe what that means in the future, because so much is revolving and evolving around virtual reality. What does an influencer in virtual reality look like? How or
Ooh.
how is that going to parlay into the future of marketing? And then so they're studying some things, and I'm a huge proponent of cross curricular. I love it. I love cross curricular studies. So and that's how I've always taught my kids too, with through unit studies and through cross curricular training. but I but there you're not just learning that trade.
Right.
You're learning focus, you're learning. So when you go into carpentries, you're learning OSHA regulations in addition to carpentry skills, in addition to the names of tools, in addition to measurement. You're learning, how you just are learning so much more than just carpentry. Like the title of carpentry involves so many little things. Well, when you think about chemistry, it involves so many little things and avenues, right? Like there's so many branches that you can go down and explore. that I really feel like when you explore a trade, a skill, you're teaching, you're focusing on more than just one thing. And that's what we really want to do, right? We want to strive to educate the whole child and
Yes.
everything about that child
That
and
is,
everything about that subject area too.
and that's what I really, really love. And I'm glad that you said that. Perfect segue into my next topic, in terms of the whole child. So, if you know me, you know that the people call me Dr. Mom or Molder of Minds. You also may know my teaching philosophy. My teaching philosophy is that I build a rapport with students before asking them to perform. So before asking a student to do a quiz or allow me to assess them, I allow them to build their own self-awareness and to share it in writing, orally, if they want to. They have the room and the floor to do it. But ways in which they're using these strategies that I call my metacognitive
Mhm.
mind box that
Yeah.
they have to pull through. But it's really, really helped ground them in their learning and understanding. And it's something that translates really well into a technological space for students. But they need more personalization. They
Mhm.
need more consistent, curated information. They're digital natives that aren't really sure about so many things that happen in technology, and we have to help establish those boundaries and those rules for them. Now, we talked about workforce development. We talked about just how VR can be used at the intersection of AI. We talked about the needs of homeschoolers, micro schools, um, and all of these other types of alternative education programs utilizing virtual reality. And how do we get our parents and our teachers, our homeschool teachers, really trained up? We talked about the offerings that VictoryXR has to really help level the playing field, and that also includes professional development. And then there are these candid conversations, Kathleen, that we're having where we just let people into the room and allow them to hear some of the things that we talk about on a weekly basis as we build. One of the questions that continuously came up for me this past week was about the AITAs. So I don't know if you know, I did the Scripps News yesterday. It was great. Um, Being on the news like this, I can do. It's live, kind of relaxed. The news, the news is the news. It goes like this. You better say what you got to say. And I'm not really always that clear yet. So, anyway, so did the Scripps News, and one of the biggest questions, and you're a homeschool mom, and you're also over homeschool division, and you're an educator, seasoned educator, lots of experience. The one question that I get is, what are the responses of students versus what's the responses of parents? And then what are responses of institutions? I know what students say. Students are excited. I know what parents say. Parents are a little concerned. But also, if it could help my child, a good parent is like, go for it. And then what institutions are saying. You work with VictoryXR, an ed tech company that has been our purposeful partners for 5 years. And so you know what institutions are saying. So overall, can you tell us what institutions are saying about the use of these AITAs, if you can?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because another role as director of customer success with Victory XR is that I also work with all of the higher education partners with our company. So I work with over 134, 138, over 138, something like a lot. I work with a lot. I work with a lot of higher education institutions, and within each institution, several educators, such as Morehouse College. So, and that list just keeps growing, which is amazing. Love it. But I will say that um, the majority, I don't think I've talked to a single one that's against it. I mean, honestly, I haven't talked to a single professor, I haven't heard, and I will hear gripes, I will hear complaints, I will hear, because as customer success, that's my role. I get the complaints, and I also get the, you know,
Kudos.
the kudos. Um, but I hear them all, and I don't disregard any of them. I take them all to heart, and I portion them out to where they need to go, so that everybody in the company knows it as well. Um, but I
I'm
but
gonna
I will say I will
uh-huh.
say that I don't think I've gotten a single. I haven't gotten anybody that said, the only negative that I've heard regarding AI TAs is, well, what's the difference between an AI TA and just going to ChatGPT?
Right.
So to that, I say, does ChatGPT know what your background and history and education has taught you that you want to share with your students?
Right. And
Because ChatGPT is pulling from a lot of resources, but they can't pull from you.
right. And so it's a part of that open educational resource movement for educators to be more sharers of the knowledge that they have. And it's not that educators gatekeep, it's just that we're used to providing our information in a particular format. You enroll in our class, we prepare for it, and we teach it that way. And I want to break that mold, but that's me. So I am going to challenge myself to just learn some new technological skills in the next few months, like literally from top to bottom. And I'm going to let everyone in on how I am building this AI TA everything. So,
Well, we built it together. We've built a couple of
oh, you
things
don't know
together.
the new surprise because I didn't tell you.
No.
And I'm not going to tell you live, but I'm going to tell
Okay.
you. So I'm going to tell you because you're like, but we did it together and we're done. I'm like, girl, get over
Oh,
yourself.
no, we're not done.
We're
I know
nowhere.
we're not done.
I was about to say, baby, we about to turn all the way up. We have a question on Instagram, so I wanted to address that real quick. Yes, AI can talk like you, and but it won't have your background or experience unless you put it in. So, and Nathan, if you saw my AITA, you know she cute. You know
She's
she her hair is like mine, pulled to the
yes.
side, real spunky. You know she got her glasses on, they're purple. You know mine are red,
And
but
lab coat.
and my lab coat now. But we're gonna fix back my outfit because the fit was fitting, and but either way, I think that I want to show how this is built in public. So I'm going to show everyone the background because people are like, oh, Dr. Morris, you're a chemist. You can do it because you're a chemist. And it's like, okay, let's play this game, right? I am middle-aged. Okay. My oldest son is 28. Okay. My baby is 7. So I am stuck in purgatory as well. And yeah, I don't have a whole lot of time because I'm an active parent, but I want to build in real time so that you all can see that I too cry sometimes over
Yeah.
technology. Technology is disobedient, child, sometimes.
But we are going to make it so easy.
Listen, and we're going to make it so easy, but sometimes it's literally user error. And so that's why I'm going to make the
Yes.
user experience for you easier. Kathleen is going to be my wing woman.
Mhm.
And we
Always.
are going to uh just do this thing and put a little love into it for you so that you'll understand. I have another comment. Will this affect the school system enrollment and how will it affect the Department of Education funding to these schools? So the Department of Education doesn't fund homeschools. They do offer resources for homeschooling parents from a lot of states. It depends on where you live. In terms of how will using AITAs affect Department of Education funding. Hopefully, the Department of Education sees this case study that I'm working so hard on to build because I've already proven the model that the Metaversity is a model that is robust, that works, that engages students, that increases achievement, increases attendance rates. And so I've done that in higher ed setting. I've done a few pilots in K-12. I've done it with educators. I've trained educators. There's over 120 Metaversities working our own, helping onboard them along with Kathleen and Melissa and Katie and Danny and all of them. So we work really closely together to do all of that. And this would be no different. The thing is, we didn't have a like a smithereen of a blueprint when we started the Metaversity thing, but we do understand what we need to do for this AITA thing. So it's going to be strategic. It's going to be beautiful. We're going to build and allow you into that world. And you're going to see how Dr. Mom molds not just your mind, but her own mind and others. And just, bring it to life for everyone. So will it affect the Department of Education funding and how they fund schools? I hope so. I hope that what we do amazes the Department of Education and that they see that we are committed to bringing everyone forward in this technological revolution that we're in, that we're not just bringing people forward, but in truth and in love and in purpose, bringing joy back to the classroom, bringing curiosity, bringing back that human connection, freeing up time so that educators can be present and have a well-being because their students are engaged and so excited about the work because the technology speaks to them. It speaks to how they understand the world. And so these connected students that we have just birthed that are beautiful digital natives need us to help facilitate the joy of learning new tools like these. And so we're just preparing to get teacher toolkits all the way technologically sound. And I'm going to put myself through the paces as well. I've been a proponent for it. I've been using it over the years. But as I also have gotten older and as there are more updates than Jesus Christ came every morning, it's a need to constantly hone your skills. So what you don't see and what you will see in this is how often me and Kathleen actually do put on our headsets, sit down and look environments, how many times we go back and forth with notes, how many times we sit and strategize about
I
about
mean, it's right here for a reason. I use it every day.
like they cannot be far from you. Mine is packed because I was going out of town. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah, yours is probably still in a suitcase.
yeah. This I actually never pack it in a suitcase, and that is a blessing. But I do have some
Well,
special.
I mean, I have a suitcase that it's a carry-on, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I check my bag. But anyway, we don't talk about it. Okay, so but we are going to talk about how we integrate all of these into different levels uh, of classrooms,
Yeah,
platforms, K-12.
everything.
So
Mhm.
bring your pen and paper. These lives are going to be kind of pop up, and then we're going to come up with a date for how many people join. I know a lot of you all just joined midday, and that was like so dope. So we're streaming this on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and I believe it might be on LinkedIn. Don't quote me, but if not, I'll take the video and link it to LinkedIn for everyone. So but this was great.
Yeah.
Kathleen, any closing thoughts about how education is transforming and the hope of this technology and what it can do for education?
Um, I think it's going to revolutionize the days of students no longer having a voice about their education. And that's really what I'm most excited about because I really feel like curriculum companies are going to have to look at creating curriculums around topics, around subjects, around more what I like, which is unit studies. And you study everything about this one subject area in detail. You write about it, you present upon it, you make projects, you build together, you explore.
But that's
And
how we work in the real world, and we do it so
that is
different.
exactly how we work in the real world, and it's terrible that it's just so distant from what, sitting in a classroom and listening to a teacher tell you about this book that you have no desire to learn, and you have no reason, like, why am I learning about Beowulf? Why am I reading, Tales of Two Cities? If you don't relate to those things, if you can't, and you don't understand the history behind some of those things, so if you can't bring in those cross curricular relationships, then students today are not going to want to continue to learn about those things. They're not going to, and they may dictate not learning about those things anymore. Some of those topics that I can think of offhand would be a shame if we lost, and others would be like, you know what, that can go. That can go away.
No,
but what kids really need is they need that cross curricular experience, that focus, and they need to be able to relate to things. And I think that's how VR is going to change. It's going to help them change, understand, explore, and nourish their own curiosities, their inner curiosities. They're going to be able to jump into headset. They're like, oh, you know what? I learned that in school today. I'm going to go into headset when I get home. If I didn't have time to at school, if it wasn't available, I'm going to go into headset at home, and I'm going to go into VictoryXR, and I'm going to bring in those 3D objects. I'm going to go to the House of Senate building. Oh, you know what? I'm going to invite Timmy to go with me, and Joey and Marcus, and they're all going to meet me in the House of Senate building. We're going to have a political debate. They're going to pretend they're Republicans. Someone's going to depend, independents, Democrat, whatever. We're going to have a discussion. We're going to do it right there in the Senate building. Or, you know what? Let's pretend that we're House of Commons. Let's explore other political venues. Let's explore, and we can go there in VR. Go right there.
You know what? I got a question for you, because something popped off in the comments while you were talking. And I was like, oh, this is a question for Kathleen, but it is also a question for us to show off this avatar. If I can pull it up now. I've never streamed before to all these live accounts now. Me and Kathleen were having a conversation, just a meeting. And I was like, you know what? Fear. No, we are harnessing fear.
Oh my gosh. That's one of my favorite songs,
Oh yeah?
One of my favorite songs. Oh my gosh.
So we are
Fear, you are not welcome here.
You are not welcome here. So we're going to do it right now. Okay. So doing it anointed. And so I'm going to, someone asked about, is this technology good for English as a second language? So English.
Fantastic.
Girl. So I just wanted to present now. So go ahead and tell them why it's wonderful. And then I'm going to pull up the TA.
So the English as a second language, you can go in okay. I remember, because I took 4 years of Latin and I took 4 years of French in high school. Mm-hmm. I was crazy. But I will say it's a solid foundation, and I loved it. But man, would I be able to remember more if I actually involved the kinesthetic movement of my body in learning that language? Mm-hmm. Yes, I would have, because that is just how the brain learns. Right. And when you are involving the body, you're going to remember it longer and better. And recall is faster. So, yes, 100%. I would love to go into VR, into City by Day. And I would love to say, okay, go down this street, make a right-hand turn, then make a left-hand turn, find the coffee shop. When you go to a foreign country, what are you doing? You're asking for directions. You're asking where the restroom is. You're going to want to know how to order from restaurants. What better way to explore that than actually going into VR with a foreign language instructor and learning, or with an English instructor for those that are learning English as a second language? Mm-hmm. Yes, take them into VR in a safe place. It's a safe location. They're not going to worry about stepping into a street and looking the opposite direction. Mm-hmm. Exactly. That happens. That just happened. So it happens. They're going to be safe. They're in VR. You can have those conversations with them, and they're learning. Okay, let's immerse them in the language. Let's talk about, you're going to go down the street, you're going to make a right-hand turn, you're going to make a left, this is where the coffee shop is. Okay, now I want you to direct me there. Now I want you to direct me over to the pet store, and I want you to direct me over to the clothing store, and just have those conversations in VR, in the setting. And, can you pretend that in real life, in a real, in-person setting? Sure, but how often are you going to be able to take your class of 25 students out into the city
Mhm.
without a field trip form, without a bus, without without all the added costs of doing that?
You're
Yeah,
not.
there's a lot. There's a lot to take into consideration when doing that. But if you just put on a headset and go explore the world, and then
So
go to 360 video and explore that country there.
that would be amazing. And so, you all already have a lot of different things that we can do. So I want to show them this AI. Listen, y'all work with me here because this I don't know. I'm
You
useless.
can do this. You can do
I
this.
can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Let's see. All right.
You did it.
I did it. Oh, look at the Lord. So this is my AI avatar lesson demo. And so this is for my English language learning group that was asking. What I like about it
Hello, I'm
is
Dr.
I'm
Muhsinah El
speaking in
Morris,
English,
or
obviously,
Dr.
right?
M.O.M.,
A lot
Reader
of
of
courses
Minds,
around the world
a
are in
world renowned
so
biomolecular
that is
chemist and
totally fine.
technologist who taught advanced inorganic chemistry using virtual reality. I am the director of the world's first metaversity, Morehouse in the Metaverse at Morehouse College. We have a wonderful and interactive digital twin campus. As a biomolecular chemist and educator, I'm thrilled to guide you through the fascinating world of chemistry. First, let's discuss the foundational concepts of this discipline. Today, we embark on a journey to understand what chemistry is, the significance of matter and change, the various branches of chemistry, and the myriad career opportunities this field offers. By the end of this lesson, you will discover that chemistry happens all around you, at every moment of every day. Chemistry is everywhere. From the food we eat to the air we breathe, chemistry plays a pivotal role in understanding the world around us. Chemistry involves two concepts, matter and change. If it has mass and occupies space, it can be characterized as a solid, liquid, gas, or plasma. Matter's composition can be changed. Consider something as simple as water. Freezing it into ice or boiling it to create steam are physical changes. Conversely, water's electrolysis into hydrogen and oxygen gas is a chemical change. These
Okay.
changes in matter
So
are
I
what
can ask
chemistry
a question.
studies at
So
the
she's
molecular
gotten enough
level.
of the lesson done.
Understanding the
I
fundamental
raise my
principles of
hands.
matter
I want
allows you
to
to
stop
predict other
so that
phenomena
I
in
can
the
ask her a
universe.
question.
Which of the following is an example of a chemical change?
I always pick the right one. I don't want to pick the right one.
Ah, see, it went boing, boing.
And so we're gonna make it where our dashboard is able to record all of this, right?
Great
And you
job.
can go around and formatively assess students. But I still do have a
Yes,
question.
what is your question?
And I'm an English language learner, so I can speak in my native language and it will speak back to me. Now, let me tell you about me. I don't speak anything but English well. Okay. All right. So I'm going to ask Google Translate. Are y'all seeing this? Are y'all seeing my Google Translate? Y'all still
No,
see
we
my
cannot see Google Translate, so you're good.
Okay. That's great. Really. Okay. So I'm going to write into Google Translate. I'm going to ask it to tell me what is matter and how is it related to chemistry, just basic question, right? And I wanted to translate that into Spanish. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I understand some Spanish when it's coming back at me, okay? So, ¿qué es la materia y cómo se relaciona con la química? Química. I am going to attempt listen here, I'm going to attempt to speak this question.
Oh, well, you can either speak it or you can put it into the text as well.
I know that I can text it, but because I have such a not so great accent, I'm gonna do both.
Okay.
So I'm gonna see how well it does it if I just speak it, right?
Okay.
And I'm gonna see how well it does. I'm gonna copy paste, right? Okay. So the first time I'm gonna speak it, let me go here because the way that the question is, what is matter and how is it related to chemistry? What is matter? Oh, I should do it in English too first. Matter and how is it related to chemistry? All right. So I got that in my Google Translate here so that I can look at it, y'all, because I really am not going to remember how to say this if I don't. Okay. So now I can speak in English and I can say, what is matter and how is it related to chemistry? Right? Yeah, kids don't use punctuation, so.
Great question. Matter is anything that has mass and takes up space. In chemistry, we study matter's properties, composition, and the changes it undergoes. Essentially, chemistry helps us understand the building blocks of everything around us, from the air we breathe to the food we eat. It's all about how different types of matter interact and transform.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask it another question. It's going to be the same question, but I'm going to ask it as a English language learner in my native tongue, which is going to be Spanish. You all, I took Spanish 2 years, and just bear with me here, okay? Here we go. ¿Qué es la materia y cómo se relaciona con la química?
It sounds like you're asking about materials that can release energy in a chemical way. In chemistry, this often involves exothermic reactions. Do you have an example or specific material in mind? Let's explore it together.
So my question, when it picked up my language, was supposed to be the same as I put in the first time, what is matter and how it is related to chemistry. But my broken Spanish gave it something totally different, right? Okay.
But she was close.
Very close because I did say materials, right?
Yes.
So now say I'm like, okay, that
Now
didn't
ask another question, but then type, but actually cut paste.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask the same question in Spanish the right way. ¿Qué
Mhm.
es la materia y cómo se relaciona con la química? Right? I probably have put emphasis on all the wrong places when I spoke it. So let's see what it does.
Excelente pregunta. La materia es todo aquello que tiene masa y ocupa espacio, como tú y yo, el aire que respiramos o el agua que bebemos. La química se encarga de estudiar la composición, estructura y propiedades de la materia, así como las reacciones y cambios que ésta experimenta. Básicamente, la química es la ciencia que nos ayuda a entender de qué está hecho el universo y cómo interactúan sus componentes.
You speak really well.
Girl, you hear that? You heard? So you know that the me that was the human intelligence was over here just tripping, trying to get this Spanish out. But this is an example of how it could be used with English language learners. They could feel comfortable answering and asking questions
Yes.
in that way. And I think that is got to be the dopest feature for me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the fact that her mouth aligned with her speaking,
As she does it. And she's in
I'm like, a foreign language, I'm like, wow.
Yeah. And they can be in different environments. She's just in a classroom, lab, class space for this. She also wears her jazzy, cute lecture clothes, which I don't have that right now, but will at the end of
We
the
will
week.
soon. Yeah.
So yeah, but it's a spatial environment. You can have demonstratives that show up into these spaces along with formative assessments in these spaces. I'm not going to resume the lesson because I don't want to hear myself talk again, but I wanted to share a little bit about it and let you know that. And then another thing, let me just say this, another thing that it can do, because a lot of people like, well, students don't write well, that they'll shy. That means that they can't ask a question, right? It might show up just like how when you're talking to your speech to text in your phone, it's going to answer just in that way. But students can type in questions. But the things that I like about it is that if I put things like their text lane,
Uh-huh.
Y'all don't even know what I be dealing with. N-E way. Okay. They say anyway, y'all.
Mhm.
Trust me. Trust me on that. Let's see what she's saying.
I get it. Chemistry can seem tricky, but it's super important. It helps us understand the world around us, from the food we eat to the air we breathe. Plus, it leads to careers in
Love her
medicine,
so much.
engineering, environmental science, and more. Trust me, it's worth it. Let's dive into today's lesson and see if it sparks an interest. How about we explore how chemistry is used in making your favorite snacks?
See, this is my girl right here because, see, let me tell you how I'm the kind of teacher that's going to feed you, baby, because I'm going to feed you knowledge, but I'm also going to teach you
Lessons in
from
chemistry. Lessons.
lessons in chemistry, right? Like, how many breakfast cups do I have ready in the morning when my students come in? We can't learn chemistry hungry. So I love that she was like, let's talk about your favorite snacks, because that's me right there. Let's put together your favorite snacks. Let's put together proportions. That's how we talk about stoichiometry. How we gonna make this peanut butter and jelly sandwich and we ain't got enough peanut butter or enough bread? Like, how we gonna make hot dogs for the grill and we don't have enough? And so you start talking about breaking down everyday concepts that students have, and then you put it in spaces like this. And the way that my AI just answered that's my girl right there for a long time. Yeah, I'm loving Dr. Mom. You so cute, girl, and so nice. So nice. She's nice.
She's
Like me. I like
It
her.
is 2:00, Muhsinah.
I know. So I have been running my mouth, and thanks for keeping me on time, target, and schedule. The comments have gone completely crazy. Hey, oh my God, so many people. I didn't even turn back over here, Kathleen, because I couldn't look at Instagram at the same time. But so many people joined and watched the demo and watched the demonstration and heard about how we're doing things at VictoryXR, working with Morehouse and the AITAs and bringing homeschool, developing pipelines for homeschool parents into the college classroom, into workforce development. Hey, Mama Eli. Hey, Carlos. Hey, Soph. Hey, Winsome. Who else is this? Alexa, Andre, 8395, Chelsea, Dunbar, Coach Dunbar, the Bless Zone. Thank you, Miss Lisa 3 for joining, Coach Jared, Nathan, Aaron,
Wow.
April, Nesta. Lord, oh God, this is so wonderful. Thank y'all for showing up. Oh my God, y'all show up. Like, it's so many people in this comment. Cizo the God, Aisha. Oh my gosh, y'all.
And it's crazy because they showed up on us.
Yes.
And we're real today. We're
yes.
raw. We're raw and we're real.
So this is part of the Beyond Reality podcast that I have been launching off the ground. This will be posted on my YouTube channel. So we're doing it in whatever modality I'm feeling like, because guess what? Joy will come back into this space, into this education.
Yes.
We will have fun building the future for these kids that we love. We're going to leave legacies of joy, hope, and peace. We're going to make partnerships of purpose, like the Morehouse College Metaversity with VictoryXR. We're going to stay building things that are shaped around humanity and the needs of the learner, as well as the professional educator and the parents. So we thank you so much for joining the Beyond Reality Impromptu live podcast, where we are having candid conversations with the illustrious and wonderful Kathleen Ouellette of VictoryXR. And I know I always say her name wrong.
No, you said it correctly.
Well, perfect.
That's why I'm like, oh my gosh, you need to give a lesson to Steve.
Okay. So let's do this. You can contact Kathleen if you want to know more about homeschools. I hope that I switched my screen. Did I stop sharing? No, I didn't stop. Okay. Am I still sharing?
You're not sharing your, all I see is you, babe. All I see is you.
All you see is me?
And me.
Oh, you see me and me. Good. Okay. I wanted to stop sharing the AITA. Yeah. Okay. All right. So there we go. Okay. So if you want to reach out to, hey, Mama Eli, I love you. If you want to reach out to Kathleen, you can reach out to her at Kath. I'm typing it in the chat. Kathleen at VictoryXR.com.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me at unitethemetaverse.com. And my email address, chemistry@gmail.com, the same chemistry that I'm on here. If you're looking to book me to speak, to train, to develop you, to help you with your school, to consult with you, to pick my brain, you can figure out how to what works for your budget and what works for me is perfect. But what we're going to keep doing is pushing the narrative of how education matters, regardless to what is going on in the world. Our young people need us. They need our guidance. They need us to bring love with us, joy, compassion to these spaces so that they can develop these workforce skills that they need to be great. So thank you so much, Kathleen, for allowing me the opportunity to speak with you candidly. And you know I don't do nothing without a full face of makeup, so you know I love you very much, girl.
Well, and this was very impromptu because I don't have anything on
What we will do in this season, what we will do, my fellow sister who has 6 children, I have 5,
Mm-hmm.
together we're an army, okay?
Yes,
And
a soccer team.
right, for sure. But what we will do in this season is show up. We will show up as we are because our hearts are big. We will show up as we are because the knowledge is too great. We will show up as we are because humanity can't wait. And so with taking that all in stride, we leave you all with love. Go check out what VictoryXR is doing with AITAs, with homeschool, with K-12, with higher education, the work that we're doing at Morehouse College with the Metaversity and the AITAs. It is amazing. So follow me at unitethemetaverse.com for all of your updates. Go to VictoryXR.com if you want to have the best EdTech partners in the world. Work with your institution. If you want people like Kathleen on your team that's going to go to bat for your child, bring your homeschool groups to VictoryXR. It's a school that is developing. It's not a school, but we are still a place of learning in that space where we're using subject matter experts and professors and people to help cultivate and to make sure this space is just as it's supposed to be for our children in education. So thank you so much for your time and attention. God bless everybody, and we will see you the next time.
God bless.
So I'm ending live on here and putting thank you for everyone who showed up. Hold on, we're not off yet. Kathleen, give me a sec. Ending the live for that because I got to end the live for StreamYard. And we can end the stream.